All right, let me ask you this. Where are all my music heads at? All my hip hop music heads. I come from the hip hop world. My whole career was in hip hop music and radio, and I've been entrenched in it since 2005, professionally, right? So today, this list comes out from Forbes, the top 50 rappers of all times. If there's one thing that will never get old, is the fact that these lists are 100% engagement bait, right? Because I don't think there could ever be a true definitive majority of hip hop's, most like cultured and entrenched folks will ever agree on. And so when these lists comes out, it's always a topic of discussion. Yet here we are, and Forbes nonetheless released their top 50 greatest rappers of all time. So we're gonna go through it, we're gonna talk about it, and then I'm gonna dog them. All right, I'm gonna get the leash. We're about to dog walk them. First, they've got Jay-Z. Number 2, Kendrick. 3, Lil Wayne. 4, J. Cole. 5, Tupac. 6 is Drake. 7 is Ye. 8 is Nicki. 9 is Nas. 10 is M. 11 is Andre 3 Stacks. 12 Biggie. 13 Missy Elliott. 14 Chuck D. 15 ASAP Rocky. 16 Lil Kim. 17 Tyler the Creator. 18 Snoop D-O G. 19 Ghostface Killer. 20 is Common. 21 Rakim. 22 Big Daddy Kane. 23 DMX Rest in Peace. 24 50 Cent. 25 Ice Cube. 26 MF Doom. 27 Juice WRLD. 28 Lauryn Hill. 29 Dre. 30 Queen Latifah. 31 Mos Def. 32 Busta Bus. 33 Future. 34 Childish Gambino. 35 LL Cool J. 36 MC Lyte. 37 Rock Marciano. 38 E40. 39 Method. METHOD man. 40 is Bad Bunny. Hold your thoughts. Hold your thoughts, because I'm going in. 41 Lupe, fellow Chicagoan, my man right there. 42 Prodigy, 43 Melly Mel, 44 Takeoff, 45 MIA, 46 Pusha T, 47 Chief Keef, 48 Cardi B, 49 Young Thugger, and 50 Talib Kweli. It is taking everything in my bones to not lose my shit at how fucking absurd some of these placements are on this list. Now, immediately chat, for those of you watching right now, if you're watching back on my YouTube channel, or you're watching back on the Rumble channel, what to you stands out that's completely misplaced? I mean, really, take a look at this, y'all. What here looks out of place? What is the first thing that sticks out of your mind as being, yo, this person is way too high of a spot on this list? Where's Black Thought? That list is messed up 100%. To be honest, Kendrick number 2 is crazy, bro. Bingo. By far. And there's more than that. I'm about to point out my problem with this Forbes top 50 rappers list of all time. First of all, Kendrick is not number motherfucking 2. You hear me? He's not. J. Cole is not number 4. Let's go down the list and see who else. ASAP Rocky is not even in the top 50. What are we even talking about, bro? And this is no slight to Rocky, but the top 50, he's not in it. In no world. Let's continue. Who else sticks out to me that is completely misplaced? I'm gonna say it, fellow Chicagoan. I knew Juice briefly. I was already towards the back end of my radio career when he started coming up. And so we didn't cross paths too much, just briefly and stuff like that. But Juice WRLD, I don't think he's top 50. I don't think he's top 50. Let's see who else. I'll tell you what is disrespectful. The fact that they got LL Cool J at number 35 is absolutely diabolical. LL Cool J at 35, one of the earliest, first biggest hip hop acts ever on Def Jam, ever, who's transcended music at this point at 35. That's nasty work. That's nasty work. All right, who else? Rock Marciano. I don't think he's on the top 50. Ain't no way. Bad Bunny shouldn't be mentioned on this. Bad Bunny should not. This is not even funny. This is actually disrespectful to have Bad Bunny on the top 50 rappers of all time. Bad Bunny is categorically not a rapper. He's a reggaeton artist. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me, this list, they really need to show who the people are that are behind these lists when they do these. Because I already know that I already have an idea of what the panel of people look like that put this list together, right? Because I would make the argument that Tyler, the Creator, shouldn't be in the top 50 as well. Let's see who else. MIA. Why the fuck is MIA? They got her in the top 50. Why? I haven't heard from her and her music in the mainstream in a long time, since Paper Planes. All right. Chief Keef should be higher in the list if we're keeping it a buck. Specifically, and this ain't because of my personal connection with Keef and what we did with Back from the Dead and how we changed the whole culture in music with drill and being the first to put Keef out there, and our mixtape just shattered records. It was incredible. Back from the Dead. If you guys don't know that, I'm the one behind Keef early on in Chicago and getting him on the radio, spins, and then we did our mixtape, which we did it in when we do it, like March. I forgot what month we did. We did it early in the year. We released it, massed millions and millions of plays on DatPiff, on live mixtapes, on all the platforms. And Larry Jackson, who was working at Interscope at the time, was beating down the door to get a hold of Chief Keef, to the point where he flew to Chicago. I distinctly remember the day we were at the radio station and Larry Jackson came down to the station because I had Keef over there doing an interview with me on my radio show. And he came down to like basically corner him into a deal. And at that point he made him, Keef got one of the craziest label deals that any artist out of Chicago has gotten in a long time. At that point in 2012 or whatever it was. And the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? It was a wild ride and everything. All of that shit changed everyone's lives that was a part of that shit. Keef should be higher in this because of the cultural impact he had. There's certain artists that had such a genre defining cultural impact that they shifted hip hop culture. And Keef is one of those. What he did with drill into the mainstream light. It's I mean, look at it now. Now you've got UK drill, you got New York drill, which by the way, New York drill is trash. I'm sorry. It is. It's such a bastardization of actual real Chicago drill music. But hey, to each your own. All right. You got I think to me, some of those names that I mentioned, they ain't there yet. They still young in their career, and I don't think they've done enough. Now, Tyler, maybe there might be some argument there because from a creative standpoint, he's been very, very creative in what he's done. But I also don't think that maybe he's done quite enough, especially when you compare it to some of these other artists. I think Kanye should be probably inside the top 5 instead of being in the out in the top 10. I think Ye, and this being me being objective, he's another artist that has transcended and shifted the culture of hip hop. I remember distinctly when College Dropout came out, he made it cool for motherfuckers to feel like they were backpackers, like backpack nerd types, not nerd all the way, but like, you know, while everyone was wearing baggy tees and jeans and all that stuff, here he comes with the backpack on, like this college type of kid. He normalized that level of acceptance that you don't got to be like a street guy. Kanye was a redefined culture for hip hop. He made it so like all those other guys and people that were like him, that maybe were a little bit more educated, that went to college, weren't all into the street life, but still was like on some cool shit, you know, were able to be seen. I think that was genre defining. Nicki for sure is inside the top 10. She's done a tremendous amount for redefining like Little Kim. Here's the thing. Is Little Kim on the list? Did I see Little Kim on this list? She is on the list. It's tough, man, because Little Kim for sure knocked the doors down for women, especially in that genre of rap, where like raunchy rap and shit like that. But then Nicki took it and like flipped it on its head. So you know, where I would put the two, I'm not mad at Nicki being at number 8, but I also think that I could easily switch Nicki and Lil Kim from 18 to 16 and flip flop them in those spots respectively. It's a tight one right there because again, Nicki doesn't come if Lil Kim doesn't come before her and set the tone. And we already know that Nicki, you know, modeled her whole game plan after Lil Kim. I mean, there's no denying that, right? I think we all know that shit. Eminem, I'm not mad at him being inside top 10 for sure. Again, another genre defining, culturally defining artist, Eminem. He came in and I mean, he changed the game. Everyone looked at white rappers in a different light ever since. You know what I'm saying? So he's inside the top 10 where he needs to be. I'm trying to think of who else. You know, Kendrick, again, Kendrick should not be in there. I think Kendrick's definitely top 20. I think Cole is probably top 30 in there somewhere, perhaps, maybe. I don't know that Cole has had so much of a cultural impact as some of these other artists, though. You know what I mean? Drake is cool. I like Drake at 6. He could be definitely inside top 10. I'm trying to think of anybody else that stands out to me. I would probably go higher with Snoop. Snoop's definitely inside of top 15. I'm trying to think of who else stands out to me that should be up there a little bit more. Am I missing anybody? I think Busta Bus is someone that should be a little bit higher. I think Bus is definitely top 25. Dre is definitely inside top 25. Again, he's instrumental to hip hop. Not only for what he did for himself as individual career, but as the group career, and then as the producer for 450, for M. I think he got to be higher because he, again, was somebody that touched hip hop music culture in a way that transcended so much. I think for that, he got to be higher on this list. I don't understand who these people are that are sitting in there throwing Kendrick, Cole, and A$AP Rocky and Tyler the Creator inside the top 20 is absolutely insane. That's absolutely insane. They gotta get them the fuck out of here and fire them, bro. They gotta get them out of here and fucking fire them. Bozanos from De La Soul should be on there too. It's gonna be a tough one for De La because, you know, I think the tricky part with these lists is like, what's the criteria that we're using to rate them and place them, right? For me, I'm personally looking at it like, what impact did they have culturally? How big were their records? What's their discography? What was their, you know, radio charting look like? I'm looking at all of them for a real well-rounded viewpoint. Now, if you want to decide to do top 50 lyricist rappers of all time, then you can start weeding out and really breaking it down. But if we're just talking about general, based off of like their total revenue, their total amount of airplay, total sales, their cultural impact, their longevity, when you look at that, I think then these names that I mentioned got to get the fuck out of here. They're not there yet. They haven't been in the game as long as some of these other artists, and I don't think Kendrick hasn't had the same impact. I mean, let's be honest, man. It's not even about some hating shit, but what has Kendrick actually done to shift hip hop culture? What has he done? Stone Cold said Jay shouldn't even be in the top 10. I disagree with that. Jay definitely, I think, is in top 10. He definitely is in top 10. And the reason I think Jay's in top 10, when you look at the number of hits he had, his albums, the longevity, then you look into the radio play he got, you look at then the cultural impact he had over his run. Like he carried hip hop for some years, for you know, a period of time, and he definitely was the face of New York rap. You know what I'm saying? He filled in that gap when Biggie was gone and all of that. And then listen, for what it's worth, not that this was really something I would factor into it, but I think it's worth mentioning the plays that he made expanding outside of just rap to then be, you know, the alcohol business that he started to do, Ace of Spades, all the Rockaware stuff, the Rock brand, not to mention him putting on people with Rock Nation, and the crew, you know, State Property, all of them. Think about all the people that were under that whole Rock Nation banner that he brought on, and it was a whole wave, bro. That was a whole movement. That was a moment, and it's sad that a lot of people will never get to experience what that Rock Nation, you know, the rock movement was all about at that period of time, with Meth Bleak, with Beans, with PD Crack. Like, bro, we go down the list of all these, the whole State Property movement. It was a crazy time in hip hop, bro. That was a real dope time in hip hop. DMX over Drake any day. You know, listen, I'm very fond of DMX. You know, he was my personal favorite all-time rapper. He will always be my number one personally. And I interviewed him. I talked with X on quite a few occasions. He was always, man, he was always such a good guy, and was always dropping gems on me in his, you know, yo, dog, very, very much way. And it always resonated with me, always stood with me, man. I'm really sad that he's gone, man. It was really, really sad. That being said, X, man, you know, he's in the top 25. Could he squeeze him in the top 20? Perhaps, yeah. Top 15, I think perhaps, I don't know. I think he's in the top 25 for sure. Maybe inside top 20. Yeah, I mean, I'm just keeping it a buck. Name one Jay-Z song that he got top anything besides New York with Alicia Keys. Her vocals with Drew, real music people to Jay-Z. Conspiracy, you're dead wrong, brother. He already so many hits before that song came out. You know what I'm saying? Now, that was probably one of his biggest commercial hits for sure, because it was Alicia. More importantly, it wasn't that it was just Alicia, it was a New York anthem. He made an anthem for New York. That's a timeless record. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be huge because of the context of that record. You know what I'm saying? Big L needs to be on that list. I'm not mad at Big L being on that. I'm not mad at Big L. You know, I think it's challenging because his career ended abruptly. I mean, he died young. You know what I mean? Like he had a run, but he didn't get to, I don't think we didn't get to experience his full potential because of his death. You know what I'm saying? They said Ice Cube at 25 is crazy work. It's tough, right? You think about it too. Yeah. Ice Cube, I mean, you think about his NWA, you think his solo career, he has a lot of hits, but you know, you really can't factor in too much. Well, you know what? I don't know. It's tough, right? Because do you factor in, he impacted the hip hop culture and urban culture for sure, not just through his music, but through his movies. Friday? Come on, bro. That's a cultural, that's such a cultural movie series, Friday. You know what I'm saying? So he was able to touch that in a different way. But if we're just talking about from the rapping angle, you really can't include that too much. They said no Jada Kiss. Nah, Jada's not on here. I don't think Jada is gonna be in top 50, to be honest with you, bro. There's a lot of artists. You know what I'm saying? You had to be there for the J era. You really did. Rob knows. You had to be there, bro. That's something that people don't understand now. The music that is coming out today and the movements that I saw coming up in my career through the music, I don't think there's been anything near it. I think the last big shift in like a culture was probably I think the Keef era, when we introduced drill to the world, was probably the last huge. And since then, I'm trying to think of what other thing has come up. I mean, maybe Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD came in a little after him. It wasn't too far after Keef and stuff. But we saw a shift from drill to then like emotional fucking music, right? Think about XXXTentacion. You think about Juice WRLD. You think about Trippie Redd. They came in with like this whole new era of like very in your feelings, depressing, moody fucking music, which some of it I like, some of them I thought was like, yo, bro, this is too down. Like motherfuckers is really getting depressed listening to this shit. You know what I mean? Jada been slept on for a long time. Oh, 100%. 100%. Big should definitely be in the mix. I mean, Big is in the mix. He's inside the top 15. I'm not mad at that, to be honest with you. I'm really not. I'm surprised they didn't put Island Boys on that list. Yo, the way that they put this shit together, I'm surprised they didn't put Island Boys too. Because like I said, Kendrick, J. Cole, ASAP Rocky, Tyler the Creator should not be in this. They shouldn't even, in my opinion, they shouldn't be in the top 50, let alone inside the top 20 on this list. This list is cooked. I want to take a look and see what the comments had to say on this list. J. Cole's not a better rapper than Nicki Minaj. I don't even think it's about him being a better rapper. I think that it's just he doesn't have the same level of success to the same degree, and both commercially and probably tour wise, number one record wise, that Nicki has. So why would he be up there? Why is Bad Bunny on there? Big facts. He has no place on this list. This list is so invalid simply, if nothing more, than having Bad Bunny on here at number 40. Absolutely cooked the list from Forbes. They're smoking that pipe. You hear me? Smoking that pipe. Someone just said, Comrade said on Instagram, where's Eazy-E? Right? Eazy was, he was a legend. But I think the argument can be made that Eazy's, career was cut short because of his death. And that kind of hampers him. You know what I mean? Yeah, Jay's the top 10 because rappers of all time. Just because he doesn't rap anymore doesn't mean he's counted out of that specific list. No, you don't count people out. Just because he's not active doesn't take away from his discography. That you have to look at the discography over his run. You know what I'm saying? What else did I have to say here? How the hell is Nicki Minaj ahead of Nas? That's a crazy list. I think probably because of the commercial success Nicki has. If you're looking at the commercial level, how many number ones she's had, how many number one radio hits she's had, it's more than Nas has had for sure. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Everyone's going in for various reasons. This guy said Paul Wall, Post Malone, Mac Miller, Esther Roth. Oh, he's trolling. He's trolling. He's trolling like the white rappers. Vanilla Ice number one. Oh man, look at this, bro. This is how you know there's a generational gap. Look at, and I've seen this, a couple of people put this up here. Where's NBA Youngboy? NBA Youngboy will never be on this list, bro. And this is how you know like there's a big generational divide here. This motherfucker, if he was really into music, no one will, real music shit, would never tweet this out of his goddamn mouth. You know what I'm saying? Never. They said Rick Ross, T.I., Jeezy, Cameron, all didn't make the list, but Takeoff did. Oh yeah, Takeoff is on this list too, right? He is. Where's he at? At number 44. Get him off of here. Let's keep it a buck. Takeoff. I'm gonna say something that might be very controversial. Takeoff would have been under everyone's radar. If he was still alive, he would have been under everyone's radar. No, Takeoff, quite honestly, was like the third amigo that no one typically cared about. Not the masses. He was just there. He was mostly like there in the group, in the background. And if he had a verse, he would do it. And like, all right, cool, let's go. I'm keeping it a buck. But what happens is when you have artists that die before they peak and hit their prime, Juice WRLD, by X, I'm talking about XXX Tentacion, Takeoff, they get immortalized. It's incredible the level of fan base and like this level of stands that you have for Juice WRLD after he passed. You know what I'm saying? Like his fans are still reeling over it. And that's because he died right as he was coming up to that peak. And because he never hit it, and stood around for the downside of it, which then, fans get over it and they move on to the next artist that catches their eye. That's how it works. Because that never happened, that transition never happened, they're stuck with just the memory of like, oh, he was on his way, he could have been this, he was so close, and they get stuck in that moment of just they just see him in that upward angle progression, and it's like a freeze moment in their brain, so they just hang on to that. If Juice WRLD was still alive today, I don't know that he would have gotten all the same things happening for him now. Like we just saw him in Fortnite the other day for the big event. They got him as a skin. They got a Juice WRLD skin. They got him in the Fortnite event. If he's alive today, would he really be in it? I think that's a fair question. I don't think so. And it's not to take nothing away from him, but my point is that when these artists die young, think about Pac and Biggie. I remember I was a young teenager when they died. And for my late teenage years, I just remember everyone was still reeling in, oh man, if Pac and Biggie were alive, oh my God, the music would be so great and it'd be so different. We wouldn't have these mumble rappers and other. It happens with every generation. Anytime we lose an artist before they peak and they hit their prime, the fans that were fans of them just immortalize them. You know, they're holding on to what they had, and it's just a very interesting kind of thing. I don't know how else to explain it.